how crazy this must be for him right now with
It's
over
consuming.
$6 million. And I thought I could understand that he said it was consuming and basically every minute of his day.
I can understand that. Absolutely. I'm trying to put myself in a contestant's shoes in terms of Survivor each
Those
and every
would be
week.
good shoes to be in.
Right. Because as an athlete, I mean, every week was going to determine your outcome. Like, were you going to get to the playoffs or not? Were you going to win a division or not? I mean, this is competitive beyond being competitive. I think this gets really close to an entry or a contestant feeling what it's like to be a professional athlete with that pressure, right? And then having to make that decision, because we hear it as bettors all the time. How did a coach make that decision? But we're armchairs. We're sitting back and we're relaxed. We don't have any stress. But now you are under duress with Survivor and other contests.
I think that's a great parallel you draw there because, being a golf handicapper and a golf bettor and a golf fan, you talk about the pressure coming down the back nine on Sunday at the Masters. We don't really know what that feels like. We can imagine, but maybe something like this is really close to that type of thing.
I think it is. Yeah, I think it is.
All right, we have Scott Sanders back with us. Again, a live entry currently in Circa Survivor, one of the 123 remaining, and you can follow him on Twitter at Seahawks Sanders. Scott, thanks again for joining us, and please elaborate on your answer there. I was talking about how crazy this must be, and you were saying it's consuming nearly every minute of your day.
It certainly is, Brady. It's from sunrise to midnight. I do have a partner, E from San Diego. He and I joined forces when we were both down to 3 entries. And it's a good thing we did, because had we not done that, we would both had been eliminated with the Patriots loss to the Bears. So with us having 2 entries left, we end up trusting the Raiders to hold serve at home against the Texans, which they thankfully did. So that enabled us to get through, and that was really fortunate on our part. But yeah, it's been humbling because we've seen so many entries go down, and to be part of the 2% remaining is just a thrill, and we just hope to keep this up.
And to your point, Scott, I mean, we started with 61-33 participants, and we're down to 2%, like you mentioned, 123 remaining. Do you like the fact that it's no knowledge within the contest, like right now, that, okay, there's one participant with 6 entries, right? I mean, does that kind of help you with your strategy moving forward?
Mike, that's a great question, because we try not to factor in right now at this stage of the game, even though it's down to 123 people left. We're trying not to factor in what other people are doing and just concentrate on what the best path is for our entry that we have remaining. We're trying to map out a good path to get us at least to December, which, as you know, it's not easy with all these upsets that have occurred and carnage that's gone on. So, we're just basically trying to concentrate on ourselves. Bob, the gentleman with 6 entries, we're certainly jealous of him. And it's gutsy. I heard him speak on Gil's show that he's going to try to push all 6 on one team. That's a bold move, and I wish him the best. But obviously, part of me doesn't wish him the best, I guess. But I don't know that I would do that. But more power to him. And it's just it's interesting to see how everybody plays these different. Like last week when I looked up to see how many had the Falcons, which we had considered, 9 of the 12 entries had only their lone entry was on the Falcons, and that was a bold move. And
you think they were sweating that game at all?
Oh my mercy! And we were too. All those who weren't on the Falcons were rooting the other way, rooting strong the other way.
Oh, but, that was one of the craziest games of the year, certainly the craziest game of the week last week in Atlanta between the Panthers and the Falcons. Scott Sanders, our guest, a live entry remaining in Circa Survivor. Well, I can tell you that Bob DeLuca, we just had Derek Stevens and the Circa crew on here to start the contest show, and he went all in, went into the middle of the table with all of his entries on the Buffalo Bills to win outright over the New York Jets this week. Scott, Are you able to, without giving away too much strategy, are you able to tell us who your one entry is on and maybe how you're mapping things out going forward?
Yeah, certainly, Brady, and we're fortunate in the fact that we use the Eagles Thursday night.
Oh, so, good for you.
Tomorrow will be a little less stressful. Yeah, and that was a struggle as well because not too many entries had the Eagles available. So we struggled with that. E and I struggled whether to save those down the line or just try to get through in what we thought would be a relatively easy game. Of course, it turned out to be not very comfortable at all, but they pulled away at the end.
Yes.
But yeah, thankfully we just sit back tomorrow and root for some upsets.
Yeah, Scott, you already mentioned, the stress level for this contest. You already mentioned the strategy that you've employed right now, and certainly, you're going to look at everything and how it changes. But I have to ask you, I mean, so many people, nobody's anticipated so many people out of this Survivor contest right now. Is it tough to fight the urge to change your strategy? I mean, we're considering whether or not this contest gets to Christmas, right, and then the holidays. So, just your thought process on what you're thinking about with Survivor right now.
Yeah, absolutely, Mike. That and that's a great question. And that's where it's kind of hard when you're sharing an entry.
Yeah.
It's great in the respect that you get to go through the highs and lows with somebody. But for me personally, it's hard. I don't want to push a team on my partner, and then we go with that team, and I be the reason. We're out of everything. So along with the stress is the potential guilt factor involved in that too. But as far as the strategy, yeah, it's changing every day. To be honest with you, we'll have something mapped out when we go to bed at night, late at night, and try to get some sleep. And we wake up the next morning, and E, who's a professional bettor and always aware of everything that's going on, he'll get some news or information that can change things completely for us.
Yeah,
so yeah, it's changing by the minute.
Yeah, I know E, and that's cool. I had no idea that he was involved with you there, Scott, so congratulations to him as well. I'm wondering, have you been a frequent contest player, or is this something, is this a newfound stress level for you altogether?
Well, I played the first year in 2019. I only had one entry, and I lost week one with Indianapolis at Jacksonville. Then last year, I had 3 entries. And then I got to mid-November, and then the Pittsburgh Steelers, I trusted them at home against the Lions, and then, as you know, that ended in a tie. So that eliminated me there. As far as the other contests, I was in circa millions the first season, and my nephew and we started out 9-0-1. Only to back that up on week 3 with a 1-4. So we never got the money, unfortunately. But that's about the extent of it.
Scott, I've only got about 45 seconds left. I want to know real quick, playing that Thursday game or even playing the Monday night game, kind of avoiding the bouillabaisse that is Sunday, does that seem advantageous to you? Just to throw another quirk into your head there about strategy, that seems like an advantage, or at least it would decrease my stress level, playing on an isolated day, if you will.
Absolutely, as far as the stress level is concerned. But as far as what day of the week the game is on, we're not really considering or factoring that in. But yeah, it's definitely an advantage, especially as it gets later on. We can sit back and money line parlay these entries that are in on Sunday, and to our advantage, and try to monetize.
Very good, Scott. Best of luck to you the rest of the way, you and E. And thanks for joining us here on the Football Contest Show, my friend.
Thank you guys both. A huge fan and appreciate it. Thank you so much.
All right. Yeah. That is Scott Sanders, still alive in Circa Survivor. Follow him on Twitter at Seahawks Sanders. Best of luck to he and E from San Diego. We'll be right back with more.